I'm talking about a happy mistake and some words about Thanksgiving. Now, although I try not to, I make mistakes sometimes by going too fast. It is a human failing and we're all human, and I'm on deadline. I'm sure there are those perfect people out there who commit no mistakes, but I'm not going to talk about them. But I will tell you about a writing mistake of mine that I'm turning around. Hello and welcome back to the writing journey. I'm Ellen Byerrum, a mystery author just trudging along and sharing my thoughts on the various steps to being published and being a writer and the stumbles we encounter along the way. Today, I'm talking about small mistakes and how they may not be so bad in the end, except for loss of time. If you want to know more about me and not my mistakes or my books, you can check out my link below. Now, let me tell you what I did and how I'm going to use it anyway. I'm going to use it here, right now. My mistake. I hope you like it. Recently, I had a request to write an article for a blog. These opportunities come around when you have a new book poised to publish. You definitely want to take advantage of them. And my book, These Crooked Things, is about to launch on December 15th as an ebook. I thought I was supposed to write a post similar to one I had in the past, written from the point of view of my main character. Imagine my surprise when I wrote that article and then realized I hadn't followed the new instructions. I was supposed to answer a Q&A instead. Well, live and learn and try to read those instructions more slowly. I can blame it on juggling the 100 things on my mind right now, my book, how to get ready for it, and Thanksgiving. This mistake, in approximately 500 words, gave me a chance to let my character Esmé speak in her own voice and comment on the action of the book. How does she feel about everything? This is not a piece directly from the book, but it is her reaction to Thanksgiving and her latest murder investigation. Those things do happen in the book. And like me, she is very concerned about the holiday, which is right around the corner. It's not simply for Esmé, but for all of us here in the States. I'm going to read it to you, this piece, so you can enjoy someone else's panic. Esmé Rafferty de LaForet. It's 3 days until Thanksgiving, and I have a crisis on my hands. I'm already swamped with transferring my play to a bigger and better theater for a glitzy reopening night with a longer run. But since I invited my friends, a wildly fascinating group of actors, producers, designers, and reporters, to Thanksgiving dinner at my apartment, my life has changed in a big way. And I don't mean the repeal of Prohibition, which seems to have left even bootleggers mulling their options, like my new friend, Frankie the Cat Romeo. And it's not the fact that 1934 has been a terrible year for criminals, like Bonnie and Clyde and John Dillinger and Pretty Boy Floyd. This has been a monumental year for me, and I'm only 25. My name is Esmé de LaForet, and I am a playwright, happily trying to glory in my first hit on Broadway in the magical city of New York. We won't talk about the plays I wrote before. Now, people like to think the theater mirrors life, yet the most dramatic things that happen won't fit neatly into a play in a 3-act structure. Where would I put the unfortunate demise of Mr. Scavullo? And now, the last day of the late Duncan Balmain. And what about my improbable introduction to Graydon Chase, a man I thought was a gangster? After all, he was dressed like one, wearing a black pinstripe suit, black shirt, eye-popping tie, and holding a pistol on me. Later, I decided Graydon was a 2-bit detective, private detective, with a good heart. How could I know he was also a playboy, fawned over by post-debutantes with Bryn Mawr drawls? I tended not to read the society news, not then. Worse, Graydon turned out to be rich, stinking rich, and English to boot. We are engaged, of course. It came about in that hilarious way that fate has of shooting love arrows and laughing at where they fall. Graydon and I can't seem to keep away from each other. Unfortunately, it also seems that danger can't keep away from us. I don't know what's worse, being dragged into a new murder investigation together, or his parents. Yes, his parents. My parents are dead, but they were normal people. His parents are Lord and Lady Chaseborn. That's right, the genuine article. English aristocracy, wouldn't you know. His mother and I have come to terms with each other. She's been living in New York for several years, and she wants to be a writer. She's been apart from Graydon's dad. However, his father came rushing over to the States when he read about our engagement in some Fleet Street rag. He does not approve, and he believes I am nothing but a woman of the theater. He has some very Victorian opinions. But back to Thanksgiving. I hadn't even invited Graydon. And why would he come? He's English. They don't do Thanksgiving. But my part-time housekeeper let it slip to his full-time valet that I am hosting a big feast. And now, guess what? They're all coming to dinner, and rumor has it they are very excited. Perhaps I shouldn't have asked our set designer to decorate my mantel for the holiday dinner. He's a wonderful designer, but goes a bit overboard, and now my whole apartment, not just my mantel, looks like a Busby Berkeley extravaganza of pumpkins, leaves, and turkeys. So many turkeys. Hand me the bromo seltzer, please. I've learned one thing living in Manhattan. The smallest things create big ripples. Good deeds have unintended consequences. And ultimately, following your instinct is the only thing you can do. So, all right, bring on the bird and the dancing turkeys. And more bromo seltzer, if you would. These Crooked Things is now available to pre-order from various booksellers. So, be sure and do it now. That's all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and find a bit of time to relax and enjoy. And I'll see you next time. Bye.